Hey guys, my name is Mandy, and today is February 28th. It's like 5, 6 something in the evening. I don't really know. Some of you may know me from forever ago, it seems like, when I used to do my Walt Disney World vlogs when I was in the Disney College program. If you have not, you should go check those out because they're pretty awesome. I used to vlog quite regularly, like at least once a week. Up until the night before I left for my second college program, and then I utterly failed as a vlogger. And here lately I've been kind of wanting to start over again and vlog, so we'll see how this goes and what comes of it. So, update on my life real quick before we get into today's mess. I currently live in Mississippi, where I grew up. I'm an assistant teacher for my local Head Start, and I'm still a huge Disney nerd. I have a whole bulletin board back here with lots of Disney stuff, and just Disney stuff everywhere. So yeah. So today I think I'm going to tell you guys some of my stories from when I was a Walt Disney World cast member. And when I say stories, I mean just like really funny or ridiculous things that I've had happen to me or to a friend of mine, or friends I should say, while working at Disney World. For my first story, I'm going to tell y'all, okay, so everybody knows, you know, when you go to Disney, especially if it's your first time, you have really high expectations of Disney World. Like, you know, you're told, oh, it's the place where dreams come true, it's the happiest place, and all this other stuff. And if you're a Disney cast member, you know that you do go above and beyond to make what people want happen, within reason, of course. So, on my first college program, which was well documented, when I did quick service food and beverage at Magic Kingdom, I was working at, I believe it was the pretzel cart, which is no longer there because they've completely redone Fantasyland, just in case you didn't know. And the fireworks were getting ready to start, probably within the next like 10 minutes. So this woman and her small son, who was probably about 4, maybe 5 years old, comes up to me, and she looks at my name tag, and she was like, "Hi, Mandy," and I was like, "Hi, how are you?" You know, the normal happy spiel thing. And she's like, "I'm doing really great. You know, this is our first visit to Disney World, and we're having a great time." And I was like, "Oh, that's really great. I'm glad to hear that." And she's like, "Yeah, so, you know, they say this is the place where dreams come true." And I'm like, "Yeah, we do our best to make that happen." And so she's like, "Well, that's great. There's something, you know, I might need help with. I wanted to see if you could help." And I was like, "Okay, I can try. I can't make any promises, but sure, what do you need?" She proceeds to tell me her son is terrified of fireworks, which, you know, a lot of young kids are. So she's like, "My son is very scared of the fireworks, and I was wondering if there's anything you can do to stop the fireworks from happening." Yes, this is a real story. "If you could stop the fireworks from happening." And I looked at her like, Are you here for real? You know, like, well, okay, I probably really didn't look like that. I probably wanted to. But in my head, that's how I was looking. So I was, you know, I asked her, I was like, "I'm sorry, can you repeat that?" Like, just to make sure I wasn't, you know, misunderstanding. So she tells me, "My son is terrified of fireworks. Can we make them, like, not happen, basically?" And I looked at her and I was like, "I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can do about the fireworks. Like, there are tons of people who come to this park every day, every evening, just to see Wishes, which is the name of the fireworks. And there's nothing we can do to stop those fireworks from happening." And so then I proceed to tell her about the many indoor places she could take her son during the fireworks. How Main Street USA has, you know, buku shops on both sides, especially the Emporium. You know, that'll keep you busy for the whole length and then some of Wishes. And, you know, other parts of the parks that were further away from Main Street. No, she just wasn't having it. She said, no, I really need the fireworks to not happen." And I was like, "I'm really sorry. I can't accommodate that. That's not possible." And she just gets really upset, throws her hands in the air, and says she's going to find someone else to talk to. So I told her, "Well, all right, I hope someone else can better accommodate you. And that was the end of that. Yeah. Real story right there. It's real. Let's see. Another time, this did not happen to me. This happened to a coworker who was standing right next to me. So I worked in a bunch of different places at Magic Kingdom. I did quick service food and beverage, like I said, and I was called Stands East. So that was all the stands in Fantasyland, Mickey's Toontown Fair, and Tomorrowland. Not to be confused with ODF or Outdoor Foods, which is like the ice cream carts and stuff. This was like the Friar's Nook, which is still there, Mrs. Potts Covered, which has been now renamed Storybook Treats, Enchanted Groves, which has been renamed Cheshire Cafe, and Scuttle's Landing is no longer there, neither is the Pretzel Wagon. And those are just the places in Fantasyland. There was more. But anyway, so I was working at the Friar's Nook on register, and a friend of mine was working next to me on register. And we started serving, I believe it was clam chowder. I could be wrong because this was like 7 years ago, but I'm fairly sure it was clam chowder. Anyway, the point is, it was hot soup. So she's working next to me, and I'm doing my business, taking orders, all that good stuff. Well, the man next to the girl next to me was helping this man. So she rings him up, gives him his food. He ordered clam chowder. He comes back like 2 seconds later, and he tells her, this soup is cold, it's not hot. And you could tell he was aggravated. Well, of course, we're like, oh, we're so sorry, blah blah blah. She goes and gets him new soup, brings it to him, and he sticks his finger in it to test it, and he's like, starts just going off like cursing. Obviously I'm not going to repeat the words, and I don't even remember the words, but he starts cursing and throws the soup on this poor girl next to me, and like it's all up her arm, it's gotten on her costume, and he storms off. She looks at me and starts saying, this is definitely not cold, like it's hot. And so then we had to get our coordinators involved and our lead, all this mess. So yeah, guests can really be jerks, and let me tell you, I know when you go visit the parks, a lot of times it's hot, it's crowded, you don't want to wait. I know, I get it. I don't like crowds, and I love Disney, but I don't like crowds. I don't like waiting. So, just remember, cast members who are working, they're people too. And if you treat them with respect, they will go out of their way to make what you want happen within reason. Like I said before, you can't come up to a cast member and be like, hey, I want, a free meal at Be Our Guest or Cinderella's Royal Table, or unlimited fast passes. It's within reason. So yeah. Let's see. I have another story, and then I'll tell you some good stories, because I don't want them to all be bad. But this one, it's not. It is bad, but it's not. It is. Okay. So, anyways, I had just done a dining plan, and then this other man comes up to me. And so he tells me he's not on the dining plan. And I'm like, okay. So he tells me what he wants, and I ring it up. And then he proceeds, I tell him his total, and he proceeds to get really mad at me. And I'm like, I don't understand what's wrong. And he's like, this is not the price I thought it was going to be. I had it totaled up in my head, and this was not the price. And I'm thinking, oh God, like it's probably higher than he was expecting. Because, that's what one would think when someone starts complaining about the price, right? Right. No. This is like $2 or $3 cheaper than or less than what I had originally rung up or added up in my head. And I'm thinking, are you stupid? You're really complaining because it's cheaper? Disney food is expensive if you don't have the dining plan, by the way. It is. I was like, no, this is correct. I even marked it all out, removed it all, started over, and had a coworker come stand next to me and watch me ring it up. And sure enough, it came out the same amount. He still throws a fit, starts cursing at me. Well, I'm a sensitive person, and this was towards the beginning of my program where I was even more sensitive. I start crying. Like, I had to excuse myself and go stand in a stairwell and cry because this man had just straight cursed me out, and I did nothing wrong. But I gained my composure, went back out there. They had taken care of it. Turns out the man, after doing all that, was like, well, I'm just going to do it on my dining plan. And I'm like, people are not smart all the time. They're not. No. So, like I said before, be nice. Be nice when you go to Disney. If someone's rude to you, I understand I don't necessarily agree with doing it, but I do kind of more understand being rude back. But don't be ugly to people. Like, we all know it's crowded. We all know it's hot. Like, I'm going to Disney, so I'm going in like 48 days. I'm going for my spring break. Me, my roommate, my roommate's daughter. They've never been, and I'm super excited about taking them. And my roommate, she's like me, doesn't do well with crowds. I'm a little nervous. I know how she is. I know how her daughter is when her daughter gets temperamental. So that's going to kind of wrap up this episode, this test episode, if you will. I'm sorry if it was boring. I'm going to try to get better at this. I'm going to try to do this semi-regularly. And yeah, hopefully you guys will stay tuned and join me on this new vlogging journey. I do plan on vlogging my trip, which is April 17th through the 21st. So expect that to come out at the beginning of May. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Please click the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get notified when I post these lovely videos. And if you have any suggestions for what you want to see, like I said, I am a previous Walt Disney World cast member for merchandise and quick service food and beverage. So feel free to comment, message, like, subscribe, do it all. And I will catch you guys soon.